I'm not gonna get mad at you for like doing what what
Yeah.
you feel your body needs. Listen to your body is the biggest thing.
You haven't been injured that much. So when you, well, let's define injury,
Yeah.
right? So there's injury like bad things, and there's injuries like the everyday, not every day, but
Yeah.
every training cycle
Yeah, where like I'll just have to like
wear and tear crap.
yeah, like oh maybe I won't like push deadlifts hard this week. Maybe I'll only like that's happened sometimes where like I'll have the planned singles and like I'll just kind of tweak my back a little bit where I'm like all right I'm not gonna be able to hit like 860 or whatever
Yeah.
850.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll only go up like I'll go up to a point where I feel it's not gonna get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then reevaluate the next week, and if I'm back to where I'm feeling good, maybe I'll push it again. But
So you train around,
Yeah.
not through. Would that be
Correct.
safe to say?
yeah,
Okay. And then with the quad, it's been an injury for
it's been like kind of
been a while.
recurring. Yeah. For yeah, it almost like basically started when I kind of half blame knee wraps for it.
Really.
Yeah, because I already have like really tight quads, and then when I tried out knee wraps, it just like tightened them even more. And then yeah, I went down on a squat one time and felt the first time it popped, and then ever since then it's just kind of like re-injured a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah. What has worked for you with it, therapy wise?
Deep tissue work is the biggest one that's worked well for me, and then just pulling back enough, which is sometimes the hardest thing.
I was going to say, how do you define that, right? Because it's if it's crackling, as you're warming up. So you say you got to squat 780 that day, whatever the fuck is 700, whatever's that day,
Yeah.
680, and it starts crackling at like 400, but it doesn't crackle that much.
For me, it's either gonna like not, it's gonna be fine, or it's gonna happen on my top set. Like it never happens on my
Yeah.
warm ups.
Yeah.
At least for like that injury wise, it's always the top set that it happens on. It's not the warm ups.
So then you just jump in and blind, right? Because you don't feel it as you're warming up.
Sometimes like so that was the thing. Like this whole like prep is like it felt tight, and like it felt like maybe if I push it a little bit too hard, it might go. So I had to like slow down my reps my reps, and then on top of that, I did like some box squats because it was always in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was kind of always like, all right, I feel like if it's gonna go like around like 496. So I'd always just train it like
Yeah.
I would do like red plate jumps. So I'd just do just a bunch of reps at 385.
All right. With the auto regulation that we talked about earlier, it's you kind of knew it a little bit coming into the sport, where now it's pretty much everything that you're doing is based upon that.
Yeah.
Right. And you have clients too. So
Yeah.
when you're working with clients, what are the first things that you have them try to focus on as far as learning how to auto regulate their training?
Like I tell them like, well, a lot of them like they'll message me and be like, oh man, like I don't think I'll be able to like I'm feeling run down. Like, you okay with me like moving this day? And I'm just like, yeah, man, like I'm not gonna get mad at you for like doing what what
Yeah.
you feel your body needs. And I guess that's kind of the lesson. Just like listen to your body is the biggest thing.
When their training starts to slow down, where do you look first?
Trying to think here. I don't have that many clients.
Okay.
So,
Well, with yourself, okay, let's back it to yourself. So
Yeah.
when you're training, it's one. There's bad workouts, right?
Yeah.
So more than one.
Yeah.
Like two of them stretched together, you're like, fuck, something's not right.
yeah, I guess factors outside of the gym is usually the first thing to look at, like
Right.
like sleep and nutrition. Those are like the first two things. Or stress. I'm like, how's your life outside of the gym?
Yeah.
If like nothing's changed that way, then it's like, okay, like now we can like take a deep dive and like maybe talk a little bit more about like.
So that's where you look first is what stress is going on outside.
Yeah.
Okay. And then sleep.
Yeah.
and then nutrition.
Nutrition,
Right?
yeah.
I listened to one podcast. You eat like cereal for breakfast and ramen noodles for lunch, right?
I eat I eat better than that. Andy sees me snack a lot. I do snack a lot.
Yeah.
That's my thing. But yeah, I'll like eat like a solid like breakfast meal, and then usually like a solid lunch, and then yeah, like pre-workouts kind of oatmeal and super easily digestible food, and then post-workouts when I'm like, all right, I want cereal. Like I'll just eat what I want.
So it's probably not that often that nutrition ends up being a variable as to why your training's not moving.
I mean, sometimes it's more so like I just don't eat enough.
Yeah.
So like the way I like track my nutrition is I mostly track protein, and then I like let carbs and fat kind of take care of themselves, like based on how hungry I am. And sometimes when work gets stressful, I just don't eat as much, and that's usually like, I guess those two are kind of intertwined for me.
Now, I'm going to assume you're not tracking your macros per se. So are you just getting on a scale each day to kind of know where you're at?
Yeah, and then I can like eyeball what my macros look like.
Yeah.
I'll track my protein though. I usually get around like I shoot for 45 grams per meal, and I get four meals a day.
Does that change when you go on for meat?
No.
So it's the same all around.
Yeah. And like if I usually drink like energy drinks, and like if I'm trying to gain weight, I'll do full sugar. If I'm trying to lose weight, then I'll do sugar free, and that usually does like a pretty good job at it.
Well, how many of these things you have in a day?
1 to 2.
All right, so it's a few hundred calories.
Yeah, it's like
right?
it's like 250 to 500 calories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's enough to be able to bump it. So that's your fucking up weight loss and weight cut.
Yeah.
Not cut, but weight loss strategy, because a cut's a different thing. Is you just go from the low carb.
Yeah. Trying to put weight on right now.
So you go with the full carb and then go that route.